If you've ever walked through your garden and sighed because of that one shady corner that never seems to get enough sun, you're not alone. I've been there, frustrated, wondering if anything useful could grow in those shadowy spots under trees, behind the shed or on the north side of the house. The good news is, nature has a way of surprising us. Some of the tastiest, most nutritious vegetables actually thrive in partial shade. Today on Soil Power, let's dive into the top 10 vegetables that don't just tolerate shade, they flourish in it. This isn't just theory. I've personally tested many of these in less than ideal lighting conditions, and they came through strong. So whether you're working with a backyard garden, a balcony corner, or a narrow strip along the fence, these plants can help you turn dim spaces into food-producing zones. Lettuce is honestly one of the friendliest shade-loving crops you can grow. While it does enjoy a bit of sunlight, too much heat and direct rays will make it bolt quickly, and that just turns it bitter. In shady gardens, though, lettuce grows a bit slower, but ends up producing sweeter, more tender leaves. Loose-leaf varieties like butterhead and oakleaf are especially forgiving, so you don't have to stress too much. Just keep the soil consistently moist and harvest those leaves as they grow for a continuous supply. Spinach is, well, practically the poster child for shade gardening. It actually prefers cooler conditions, which shade naturally provides. If you plant it in rich, moist soil, you'll have a steady supply of those vitamin-packed greens. And if you've ever struggled with spinach wilting in the sun, try tucking it into that shady corner. You'll definitely notice sturdier leaves and a longer harvest season. Kale is tough as nails and super versatile in the kitchen, which honestly makes it one of my personal favorites. While it can handle the sun just fine, kale thrives just as well in partial shade. In fact, those cooler shady spots actually enhance its flavor, making the leaves less bitter and a whole lot more tender. For the best results, plant it in soil enriched with compost and keep harvesting the lower leaves as new ones emerge. Arugula. If you've got a taste for that peppery kick, this will be your shady garden hero. This fast-growing green doesn't need much light at all to thrive. In fact, shaded conditions actually prevent it from bolting too quickly, which means a longer harvest window for you. Arugula pairs beautifully in salads, sandwiches, and even as a pizza topping. Definitely worth a spot in your low-light lineup. Swiss chard is often overlooked, but it's a powerhouse plant for shady gardens. The colorful stalks add beauty to your garden while the leaves give you a steady supply of nutritious greens. Chard tolerates low light surprisingly well and bounces back after multiple harvests. Just snip the outer leaves and let the center grow. One planting can feed you for months. Beets are a double win. You get delicious roots and nutritious greens from the same plant. While they won't bulk up as much in heavy shade, partial shade works perfectly. The greens in particular grow lush and tender in low light. If you want both roots and leaves, aim for dappled sunlight rather than full shade. Beets in a shady patch may grow a little slower, but patience pays off with sweet, earthy flavor. Carrots? Yeah, they can handle shade too, especially if you're patient. While full sun speeds up root development, partial shade actually creates a cooler environment that prevents them from turning woody or bitter. The key here is loose, well-draining soil. In low light, you might notice smaller roots, but honestly, the flavor is usually richer and sweeter. Oh, and don't forget, carrot tops are edible too. Perfect for pesto or soups. Radishes are quick, rewarding, and surprisingly shade-tolerant. In fact, they actually grow better in partial shade during warm months because cooler soil prevents them from becoming pithy. You'll get crisp, spicy roots and tender greens that can be sautéed or tossed into soups. Plus, they're one of the fastest crops to harvest, often within 30 days, making them perfect for impatient gardeners like me. Green onions are practically made for shady spaces. They just don't need much sunlight to develop those slim, flavorful stalks. You can plant them close together, snip as needed, and they'll keep regenerating for weeks. If you've only got a tiny shady spot, green onions are a perfect fit. They're compact, low maintenance, and honestly, incredibly versatile in the kitchen. So peas might surprise you, but they can actually do really well in partial shade, especially when the weather gets warmer. Too much sun often makes them struggle, but in those shadier conditions, peas tend to thrive longer into the season. The vines don't need a whole lot of space, and honestly the cool soil in shaded areas just keeps them happy. And here's a bonus for you: you can eat the tender shoots as well as the pods. Now that you know what to grow, let me just share a few tips from experience. Soil actually matters more than sunlight in shady gardens. Rich, compost-heavy soil ensures your plants get the nutrition they need, even with a little less light. Make sure to water consistently since shady spots can retain moisture differently. Check the soil regularly. Sometimes it stays damp longer than those sunny areas. And harvest frequently. A lot of shade-loving veggies are cut and come again, which means the more you pick, the more they produce. Don't forget to experiment too. Every garden has its own microclimate, so what thrives in one shady corner might behave totally differently in another. Don't be afraid to test and adjust as you go. Shady gardens don't have to be wasted spaces, you know? With the right crops, they can become lush, productive patches just bursting with flavor and nutrition. Lettuce, spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard, beets, carrots, radishes, green onions and peas. These are all proof that low light doesn't mean low harvests. I've personally turned some pretty gloomy corners of my garden into mini salad bars, and I can tell you, once you start, you'll see shade in a whole new light. Gardening isn't about perfection, it's really about adaptation. By working with the natural conditions in your space, you'll unlock new ways to grow food, and discover just how generous the earth can be. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Soil Power, hit that like button, and share this with a fellow gardener who might be struggling with shady spots. Let's keep learning, growing, and turning every inch of soil into abundance.